Hey guys, I'm DeMarco here, General Manager at DeMarcoSports.com, and this is going to be your Sunday video report. As you know, the NFL complimentary plays here on the video. The games that I'm giving away for free over the past 8 weeks, 31, 14, and 1. 31 wins, 14 losses, and a push. That ain't too shabby with the games that I'm giving away. And I have a number of complimentary plays today, and as usual, I'm going to run down the entire card and give you my thoughts on every game on the board since I had to handicap the entire card anyway. Now, yesterday, here I told you that I had a play that matched the biggest of my career once more in college football. That for only the 33rd time in the 22 years since I created this site, I had a rare 30-dime release. And it was easy. Texas kicking the hell out of Oklahoma State. In fact, don't you wish they were all that easy? Well, today I have a play almost as big in the NFL. It's my first raise the bar 20-dime release of the entire season. Now, normally a 15-dime release is my biggest play. And of course, I'm on a 20 and 12 roll with those in the NFL, dating back to the last season. One of them happened to be the Eagles over the 49ers in the NFC Championship game last year. Well, today, the raise the bar 20-dime release happens to be the rematch between Philadelphia and San Francisco. It's the game I absolutely love. And just like Texas yesterday, I told you I isolated that game the minute the lines came out. Nothing has changed my opinion about this game from the way the lines came out earlier this week. And yes, there's been line movement in this game, but it's the game I isolated. It's the best bet on the card today. And just like yesterday, it is the half price play of the day simply by using coupon code, very original. It's the word half, HALF, and it's available now. With that being said, listen, it's time to get to the complimentary plays. What do you think about that? Again, 31 and 14 roll. Let's get to it. And of course, if you want to be made aware of when I'm going to have video reports, you should probably subscribe to the channel. It's the easiest way. Oh, by the way, let me just tell you, I might not be here on Monday to do a video. It's back to Ohio State for round number 4 of chemo. So don't know, depending on my flight schedule tomorrow, whether I'll be able to squeeze in a video. So again, the easiest way to know if I'm going to have one is to subscribe to the channel. I'm not soliciting you for anything, but you know, my schedule's just a little busy. Can't wait to be there Tuesday morning at 7:30 to get to that infusion suite in Columbus, Ohio, because it's my second home. Anyway, so let's get to the complimentary plays. Let's see. Probably my favorite complimentary play today would be Detroit minus the 4.5 at New Orleans. Now, I know the Lions have totally collapsed here the past couple of weeks. And let's face it, the defense has been just atrocious, 105 points allowed the past 3 games. And Jared Goff, after a phenomenal start, has really hit the skids the last couple of games. 2 games ago, he had the 3 interceptions against Chicago. And then, of course, on Thanksgiving Day against Green Bay, he had the 3 fumbles. What we do is gambling, right? There's a certain amount of statistics involved there, and I say the statistical probability is that he is not going to have another 3 turnover game here today. But I believe the key here is not Goff against New Orleans. I believe the key here is going to be the Lions putting up a great running game against a New Orleans defense that couldn't stop the Falcons' ground game last week if they knew who the Falcons were going to run and what the play was going to be in advance. Because the Falcons, I believe the final number was 228 yards on the ground, and that was a season high in terms of what the Saints allowed, rushing yards allowed last week. And you look at this. Oh, and the other thing is, not only do you have Jamar Gibbs, David Montgomery, of course, king, that 1-2 punch for the Lions, but today the Lions get left guard Jonah Jackson back. He has missed the past couple of games. The last game he played was that game the Lions came out to bye at the Chargers, and they ran for over 200 yards in that game. So I think it's a big game for the Lions to get back. Obviously, the key to the Lions defense is keeping it off the field. So the time of possession for the Lions offense is very key. But listen, the Lions have some major holes, and Dan Campbell knows with that defense. When you look that in the last 5 games, 3 of them, they haven't had one sack and all those points allowed. But Goff should have a good game here today because the Saints do not get any pressure. In fact, they're 31st in the league in sack percentage. Um, I'm just going to go with them. And the Saints offense, they just don't get the job done, especially in the red zone. You look last week, they had 444 total yards against Atlanta, but they were only able to get 5 field goals. And you look at Derek Carr, 11, I think it's 11 touchdowns on the season. So they move up and down the field, but again, they get to the red zone and they just can't convert. 4.5, I'm buying down the half point. If the Lions did not look so lousy against Chicago, if the Lions had beaten Green Bay, I assure you the Lions would have been a 6.5 to 7 point favorite in here. So I think this is a bargain basement price to take Detroit in this spot. On the early card as well, you've got the Chargers, a 5.5 point favorite at New England. This line has dropped from 6. Damned if I know why. Have the Patriots played okay defensively? Yeah. Who the hell have they played lately? Nobody. I mean, look at that Patriots offense. You tell me. They're going to probably switch quarterbacks again today. They're going to be without their top 2 wide receivers. Malik Cunningham was activated from the practice squad, elevated from it. He's probably going to see a little bit of duty at wide receiver, a little bit of duty at a hybrid quarterback as well. Does that inspire a lot of confidence in you to take New England? I don't care if they're getting 16 points today. And I know the Chargers have lost 3 in a row. And I know the Chargers haven't been really a good play this season. But listen, they didn't play that poorly other than the 3 turnovers against Baltimore last Sunday. But the defense at least came to play in that 20-10 loss. And sooner or later, they're going to win one of those games that they keep losing by those small margins because the prior week they lost 23-20 at Green Bay, a Packers team that's red hot. The week before that, they lost 41-38 at home to Detroit, a team that's been putting a lot of people on notice this year. So this is the Patriots. I say go ahead, and if the line's 5.5, why not invest on the Chargers? Because again, this is a Patriots team that's 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 at home, and a Patriots team that offensively chunk plays this year, and I'm talking about chunk plays, 20 yards or more. They have 21 the entire season, 19 via the air, 2 on the ground. Just a damn awful team like you need me to tell you. By the way, the weather, it's probably going to be played in a steady drizzle with temperatures in the 40. What a miserable game. On the late afternoon card, the Rams are a 4-point favorite at home. Now, they scored a season-high 37 last week in that win at Arizona. Of course, they're going to play Cleveland today. And the Browns defense has been stout almost all season in almost every single game. They're on QB number 4 today. It's Joe Flacco. I guess because you and I weren't available, we'll be probably quarterback number 5. I mean, Joe Flacco, last time he played was week number 18 for the Jets last year. Sooner or later, the Browns defense is going to have a hiccup. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I just like the Rams in this particular spot. And I know the Browns defense. They're number 1 in pressure rate. They're number 1 in third down defense. They're 9th in sacks. If I keep giving you stats about the Browns defense, I'm going to talk myself out of this pick. But I actually like the Rams here minus the 4. It's come down from 4.5. And I think it's a good spot to go ahead and take them in this situation. Of those compliments, let's see. Do I really want to take? Yeah, what the hell? I'm going to take the Dolphins too. Now, I know this game is going to be played in some miserable weather in Washington, D.C., okay? But it's only going to be a light drizzle to no rain at all. So I'm going to go with Miami minus the 9.5. They have the benefit of having the extra day since they played on Friday, beating up the Jets, that 21-point win. Washington coming off the 45-10 loss on Thanksgiving. They have the extra day, even one more extra day than the Jets do, the Dolphins do, since the Dolphins played on Black Friday. After that loss at Dallas, they fired their defensive coordinator, Jack Del Rio. That means Ron Rivera, who's going to get fired anyway at the end of the season, is going to call the signals for them. This is a Washington team that's 1-6-1 against the spread in its last 8 at home. Why not take the Dolphins minus 9.5? I was kind of surprised they weren't like a 12.5 to 13-point favorite here. So of the complementary plays, if I had to rate them, I don't know why I always say that. I always rate them. Lions would be number one, hands down. Lions number one. Number two would be the Rams. Number three would be the Chargers. And number four would be the Dolphins. So Lions, hands down, number one. Number two, again, would be the Rams. Number three would be the Dolphins. And number four would be the Chargers. Now, let's take a look at the other games on the card. And eh, there's some dogs here on this card today. And I'll run them from the top of the schedule, okay? You got Atlanta taking on the New York Jets. Damn if I know. I actually like the Falcons just a little bit in this game. You've got Arizona at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 6.5. Suddenly, a team that isn't able to score, they fire their offensive coordinator, they win a game, and suddenly they're a 6.5-point favorite. Yeah, okay. You want to lay 6.5 points with the Steelers? What, is Lynn Swann and John Stallworth coming to play today and we turn back the clock 30 years? No, I wouldn't touch this game either side of it. Indianapolis, minus a point at Tennessee. I mean, how do you bet this game? Seriously, how do you bet this game? Denver is a 3-point favorite at Houston, 3-point underdog at Houston. And I know the Broncos are red hot. Who have they beaten during this winning streak? I mean, are we supposed to be impressed with the Broncos' great run here, beating the Browns and a backup quarterback, beating the Vikings and Joshua Dobbs in the last second? Okay, they beat the Bills. I will give them credit there. They beat Kansas City. I will give them credit there. They beat the Packers before the Packers got on the run. I'm still not impressed. I like the way C.J. Stroud is playing. I actually like the Texans here. At 3, I would buy down the half point. Carolina and Tampa Bay. Yeah, I'll take a pass on that game too. That brings you to the Sunday night game, Kansas City and Green Bay. I always gravitate toward taking the Chiefs. Okay, I'm still not convinced the Packers are any good. I know that they beat the Lions. I look at that game and I think it was more a case of the Lions losing the game than the Packers winning the game. I want to see the Packers pass rush get to Patrick Mahomes. At the same time, though, however, I will say that it is clearly obvious that the Chiefs have some major problems offensively because their wide receivers suck. Okay, so if Travis Kelce is not having an all-out great game, Patrick Mahomes has some problems sometimes finding guys that actually can hold on to the ball because their wide receivers lead the league in drops. Yet, I still like Kansas City in this game. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and at 6, I'm obviously buying down to half points. So, again, I lean a little toward Kansas City, and there is your Sunday card for you. So, listen, guys, I wish you well, good luck, and we'll talk to you again hopefully tomorrow. Catch you later.